This is the moment narcissists accidentally expose that they are afraid of you. A narcissist spends their entire life building the illusion that they are fearless, untouchable, and stronger than anyone around them. They present themselves as invincible, as if nothing can shake them. But beneath that carefully constructed mask lies one of the most frightened individuals you will ever encounter. Their fear seeps out in subtle ways, in the cracks they try so hard to cover. You see it in moments they cannot control, when their insecurities betray the image they work tirelessly to maintain. Think about the times when you bow your head to pray or meditate, and suddenly the narcissist grows restless. Your connection to something higher unsettles them because it highlights a truth they cannot compete with. You draw strength from beyond them. Or when you hold their gaze with quiet confidence and they flinch, unable to maintain eye contact. The intimidation tactic that once silenced you no longer works, and that loss of control terrifies them. It also shows up in daily life, in ways that might seem small but reveal everything. You return home laughing after spending time with people who love you, and instead of sharing in your joy, they punish you for daring to be happy without them. You begin owning your own money, and rather than celebrating your independence, they belittle it, because every step you take towards self-reliance is a reminder that their grip on you is slipping. When you play with your pet or your child, they glare with envy because they cannot feel the same warmth or purity of connection. And when your children run to you with affection, they withdraw, knowing they can never compete with the genuine love you receive so effortlessly. Perhaps the most revealing moment comes when you stop feeding their need for empathy. Once you respond with indifference instead of comfort, their most reliable weapon no longer works. The rage that follows isn't power, it's panic. It's the realization that the spell they once had over you is broken. These are the cracks in their mask. These are the moments they cannot fake. And once you recognize them for what they are, the illusion of their power crumbles. You no longer see them as intimidating giants. You see them as small, fragile, and afraid. That brings us to today's topic: 7 moments when a narcissist accidentally shows you they are afraid of you. Number 1. When you pray and they cannot sit still. Prayer and meditation are acts of surrender, moments where you step away from the noise of the world and the constant demand to give the narcissist your attention. For them, this silence is unbearable. It's not only that you're ignoring them, it's that you are connecting to a source greater than they could ever be. At a spiritual level, many survivors describe the narcissist reaction during prayer as almost demonic, as if the purity of the act exposes something dark within them. They interrupt, mock, or disturb you because they feel powerless in the presence of what they cannot control. On a psychological level, it comes down to abandonment and rejection. Your prayer proves that you can exist without them, and nothing terrifies them more than the thought that you could leave them behind and still thrive. Number 2. When you hold their gaze and they look away. Eye contact is one of the most primal forms of communication, and narcissists have long used it as a weapon. Their stare is meant to dominate in silence, to keep you submissive. Survivors often describe years of avoiding the narcissist's eyes because of how intimidating, even dangerous, they felt. But everything changes once you reach the point where you can meet their gaze without flinching. In that silent exchange, the balance of power shifts. They can no longer use their eyes to control you. And when they look away, you see the truth. They are the ones who are afraid. That silent stare says everything without a single word. It communicates that you finally see through them, that the illusions no longer work, and that you are done playing their game. The strength of this moment doesn't come from shouting or anger. It comes from calmness. Narcissists are fueled by chaos, by the reactions they can pull out of you. But when you meet their eyes with steady certainty, you deny them their favorite weapon. They look away because your gaze reflects back the very things they try hardest to bury: shame, insecurity, and the smallness they've spent a lifetime hiding. I experienced this firsthand with my father, and the moment he turned his eyes away, I knew the power dynamic had shifted. Number 3. When you come home laughing after spending time with people who care about you. Laughter is one of the purest expressions of freedom. When you've been surrounded by friends or loved ones who bring you genuine joy, you carry back an energy that cannot be faked or manufactured. That light terrifies the narcissist because it proves your happiness doesn't depend on them. It shows that others can give you what they cannot, and in their distorted reality, that feels like betrayal. To them, your laughter is disloyalty. That's why they sulk in silence, withdraw into coldness, or suddenly ignite an argument. They need to dominate your joy, to crush the reminder that you can feel alive without them. Misery is their comfort zone, and if you refuse to share in it, they punish you until you're dragged back into alignment with their bitterness. Number 4. When you start earning your own money and step into financial independence. This is one of the most threatening changes for a narcissist because money, at its core, means survival. Once you begin earning and managing your own resources, it signals that you are capable of surviving without them. For the narcissist, this breaks one of their strongest chains, financial control. They'll never openly celebrate your independence. Instead, they chip away at it with subtle, backhanded remarks. They might say you're too focused on work, or that money is making you selfish, or even that you're wasting your youth by being responsible. I remember my own father making comments like that when I first began earning. But beneath the criticism was fear. Fear that I wouldn't need him anymore, fear that I could walk away, fear that his grip was slipping. That's why financial abuse is such a common thread among survivors. Narcissists drain bank accounts, sabotage careers, or guilt you into surrendering resources, anything to keep the upper hand. Your financial independence is not just about money, it's about freedom. And nothing terrifies them more than your ability to live without them. Number 5. When you play with a pet or child and they glare with jealousy. Love that flows naturally, without agenda, is something a narcissist cannot process. When you're laughing with a child or rolling on the floor with a pet, what you're experiencing is pure, unconditional love. A love that gives back equally. A love that feels safe. To you, it feels effortless. To them, it feels like exposure. They glare because what they are witnessing is something they can't replicate or feel for themselves. They might pretend in public, put on the mask of a loving parent or caring partner, but deep down they know it isn't real. Watching you receive love that comes so freely reminds them of what they lack, and jealousy rises to the surface. That glare is not about the pet or the child. It's about their own emptiness being revealed. Narcissists can pretend to love when it serves their purpose. But beneath the surface there's nothing real, only emptiness. That's why your simple playfulness with a child or pet cuts them so deeply. It reminds them of everything they can never feel, of the void inside them they try so hard to hide. When I think back, I'll never forget the cruelty of a moment with my mother. During a phone call, she once said, "I hope your cat dies." Those weren't careless words or an accident. They were an expression of jealousy so consuming that even an innocent animal became a target. For them, your joy feels like their death. Every time you share love freely, they are reminded of what they will never be capable of, and that reminder burns. Number 6. When your children pour love onto you and the narcissist retreats. Few things in this world are as pure as the love of a child. It is innocent, unowned, and unconditional. For a narcissist, witnessing that love is unbearable because they know they can never inspire it. They know they cannot compete with the bond you've built. In that instant, the mask slips, and you catch a glimpse of the terror they carry inside. The fear of being replaced, of being irrelevant. That's why so many survivors recall punishments, silent treatments, or bizarre manipulations after tender moments with their children. The narcissist lashes out because your child's affection exposes their deepest failure. For you, your child's love is a blessing. For them, it is proof that they will never measure up. Number 7. When you replace empathy with indifference. If there's one thing a narcissist depends on, it's your compassion. They build entire strategies around pulling at your heart, making you feel guilty, and trapping you in cycles of care. Empathy has been their lifeline, their favorite tool. But when you stop giving it, when you respond with calm indifference instead of comfort, the ground beneath them collapses. I saw this with my mother. She played the same emotional games, expecting me to fold like I always had. But this time, I gave her nothing. No reaction, no comfort, no validation. My silence enraged her. She shouted, accused, and threw every trick at me, but none of it worked. That was the moment I understood. Indifference is the end of their power. When their manipulation no longer reaches you, they realize they cannot own you the way they once did. Bringing it all together, these moments might look ordinary to an outsider, but they reveal the truth a narcissist spends their life hiding. Your prayer unsettles them because it connects you to something higher. Your steady gaze exposes the shame they bury. Your laughter proves your joy doesn't depend on them. Your independence shows you can survive without them. Your bond with children or pets reminds them of the love they'll never earn. And your indifference shatters the illusion that they still control you. Narcissists live behind a mask of invincibility, but in these cracks, they reveal their secret. They have always been afraid of you. So that's the message for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And remember, their fear is proof of your strength. Have a great day, everyone.